Supplemental information, people. When I put these cars together, I had a problem. I thought I had resolved it with a little bit of paint on the side of the LED. Turns out I was wrong. See, sometimes you're not always right when you do things, and you have to find out the hard way. So I want to show you something. First, I'm going to show you the tools you need to fix the issue. Pin vise with a very, very small bit. Now, I have like 6 or 8 of these pin vices, and they all have all the size of the bits that I use most often. So I don't have to keep changing bits. That's the first one. This one would be the second one. This one is my bit that I use for tapping 256 screws to put couplers in and such. After you go to that one, you go to this one. This one's a little bigger yet. And I don't want to scare the devil out of you, but you know, this one is something you put in a drill. This is the last one you're going to use. Key to this is you're doing this by hand. You're using your hand to do everything. Because what we're going to do, if you look underneath the lid, okay, you see that little spot right there where I told you was the plastic part that refracts the light up into the headlight? Well, it's going to be hard to see there, but if you put your finger on that, okay, it would feel like your tooth in your mouth after you got a filling done. There's a hole there, okay? You actually drill down inside there a little bit of a hole, as you can see with the bit, okay? And then you use this one just to make sure that it's nice and tapered all the way to the outside. You're actually trying to put a round device into a square hole, so to speak. But the reason you're doing that is because I found that these LEDs are a millimeter or so taller than the other ones. And there was a slight gap in there between this piece and the circuit board. There is none now that we put the larger LED in. So what was happening is when you put the roof back on, it just didn't seat to the top of the rim of the roof completely. It was just kind of sticking up a little bit, which allowed some light to break through. And of course, for those of you that are out there that are like me and somewhat of a perfectionist, I couldn't sleep at night knowing that I screwed that up and that there was a problem with having the light show through. So this cures it. As I had mentioned earlier, I suspected that might be one of the things I'd have to do. And I just wanted to confirm with a second quick little follow-up video that that's exactly what you got to do. Once you do that, you can pop the roof back on. See if I can get some light over top of this so you can really see it. And there's no gap at all. That snaps right in there just the way it originally did. And it's nice and tight. And the lights look really good. Okay. So in the event you decide you want to try to do this with this particular style LED, which as I said is a little bit bigger. Now the only reason I didn't go for one that was a little smaller, say nothing of the fact that they're harder to work with, but after spending the money on 200 of these LEDs, the first one of which I bought was actually smaller than what Concord used. This was the second batch, which actually ended up being a tiny bit larger. I figured, let me see if this will fit physically on the pad. If they do, I'm going to just stick with these. I could have gone back to DigiKey and given it one more shot and gotten one that was like in the middle of the two. However, these larger ones were only $18 a hundred. The smaller ones I originally ordered were $36 a hundred. So they were twice the price for a smaller LED. And I will use those 100 LEDs, but they are the type that work in my little gooseneck lamps that I make, which are extremely small. And I may put something together on that, or I might just do a audio tutorial over snapshots of what I did, because I've already done them quite a few times. And it might be easier than trying to do a video because it's way too difficult to try to build them on a video. It would take an hour. So that's the follow-up to the MP54 replacements of the LEDs, the yellow LEDs with the white. Good luck with that, and I hope you enjoy.